All right, let's go on to this next product, Vintage Gains from Micro Gainz. So these are laser cut steel weights with magnets to calibrate your weight plates. These were launched in collaboration with Rob, aka Vintage Weights PGH. So each set contains a 4 to 0.25 pound and two half pound Vintage Gains magnetic weights. So you put them on your weights to help even out the weight. Um, so you can apply these to, maybe I just let Rob explain. Rob, how about you just explain? And instead of me just reading off this product
Yeah,
description.
it's all good. Simply put, very few weight plates are actually accurate to what they say they are, unless you have calibrated plates. Very few iron weight plates are that accurate, and that got me thinking. And I came up with these, and I went to Mike, and I can expound on that later. But basically, you weigh your weights, and you'll find what you need, and then you pick up for about $40 a kit of Vintage Gains, and you calibrate your own weights at home. So if you just look at how much calibrated weights cost, you can save a lot of money by calibrating your own weights, and you can also just have a little bit of integrity with what you're lifting. That even though a lot of us are in home gyms, it means something to me when I hit a PR. And when I found out that maybe I wasn't actually lifting what I thought I was lifting, that meant something to me. So I'm not setting any world records personally, but I wanted to know that I was actually lifting what I thought I was lifting.
And when did you think
Yeah,
of
and I know
this?
you. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, and when did you think of this, Rob?
Well, first I started tinkering around with Micro Gainz, and I bought some magnets because what I had started to do probably two and a half years ago or so, about 2 years ago, I well, I bought some Micro Gainz, yeah, right around this time, 2 years ago, and it, for my purposes, not just adding on, Mike's whole like marketing campaign is to break plateaus, and even 1 pound matters, and I agree with that. But I was using them too because I would weigh my weights, and if I had one that was 43 and one that was 45, it was cool to just throw on 2 pounds on the lighter side. Or if I had a weight that was 46 pounds and one that was 45, I'd throw two of my Micro Gains on and even it out, because I didn't want to have a lopsided feeling lift with one side being a couple pounds heavier than the other. But then that became cumbersome. I mean, it was just kind of, I developed this whole system of like with a metallic Sharpie on the back of my plates, I would put what they really were. And then I'd know how many Micro Gains to put on, but that got annoying. So then I thought, well, how can I just like attach them on? Like, how can I just like attach two Micro Gains or whatever it takes? And I got some of those rare earth magnets. And that kind of worked, but it became obvious after, I don't know, not even a couple sessions of training with them, that not only did they not fit a lot of plates, like kind of the circular shape, but they also just fell off all the time. So that really was annoying. So then I started thinking about the shape, and I started thinking about how to better attach them. And yeah, I gave Mike a call, and then he put me off for like a year. So, but he
Well,
came back,
that was my next question. How long did it all take?
So I gave Mike a call probably about I don't know, 18 months ago at this point. Probably, I don't know. And yeah, about a year and a half ago. And I spoke with him, and, all jokes aside, he was really gracious. He said, yeah, sure, I'll hear your idea. And I'd never given a pitch for anything. I watched Shark Tank a couple times. That's about it. So I looked into it, how should I really present this? And on a Saturday morning. We hopped on a video chat together, even though he's in Pennsylvania. He's a couple hours from me, so we just hopped on a Zoom because I told him, hey, I want to like show you my concept. So I gave him the whole spiel, and I gave him the whole kind of rundown, like, this is the problem, weights don't weigh what they should. And he was really gracious, not just to listen to me, but he gave me a lot of advice. And we don't have time on this podcast for me to relay all that advice, but some of the pointers he gave me with the design that I originally had ended up basically being what we did in the end. And some of the things he told me to do from the point that I was at, because at that point I didn't even have a true prototype. I just had things that I had sketched on paper, the shape that I had sketched, and I would lay that on plates and show him what I meant. So I was just dealing with a bunch of cut up paper and showing him, different weights and things and how inaccurate they were. And so then from there, he was gracious about it, but it was pretty obvious he didn't want to like pursue that as a collaboration, and was saying as much. Like by the end of our conversation, he was saying like, so, you should go get a prototype and a Shopify account and you could sell these things. And I was like, well, no, Mike, I'm busy. I want you to sell them. Like, I don't want to sell these things. And so then fast forward over the next year, I mean, Mike and I just, even prior to that, I felt comfortable with him, and we kind of got to know each other a little bit. I think because we realized we were both in Pennsylvania, and I was using his product quite often and kind of from a different angle than some other people were using it, since I was using it to kind of balance out my vintage weights. And so we talk about all kinds of stuff and other products and things. And every once in a while he'd ask me, so, hey, did you get like a prototype for the calibration idea you had? And I said, no, I didn't get around to it. I'm working on this thing or doing that thing, podcast, whatever. And then eventually, I don't know if I just wore him down or if he came around to it. I don't know what happened, but about a year after that initial pitch, so maybe last spring, it was about last spring, he came back to me and said, if you're still interested, I think I might want to partner with you on this. Can we chat? And that's where we started really working on it. And it took, a lot of, I think 3 different iterations to get the shape right, and some trial and error.
Awesome.
So yeah,
sweet.
It was. This is day 2 of them being on sale. The date of this being recorded. So really, my only experience so far is bringing them to market, but that in itself has been really educational for me. Like if I don't get me wrong, I'm hoping these things sell, and I think it's going to be a slow burn. Personally, I don't think I'm buying a yacht tomorrow or anything, but I think there is a purpose and a need to them. I think they solve a problem that exists, and from different angles too, and different needs that can be solved with them, like saving money or lifting in a safe manner, improving upon your lifts. So it's been really rewarding, just going through the process. I learned a ton. Since I'm usually interviewing like on Home Gym History, the company owners or the product developers, it's given me, it's not like I'm Chris Duffin over here, but it's given me kind of like just a hint, like a little glimpse into their side of things, since I've now experienced like going through the development process and talking through the financials and talking through sourcing and, where are we getting this from? Okay, this magnet just shattered on me. Where do we get better magnets? How do we do this? What kind of machines are needed to do this? Like, does Mike have this machine on hand? Does it make sense to his business? All kinds of stuff that when I was sitting there with a bunch of cut up pieces of paper, I definitely hadn't thought about. So it was cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it when these collabs happen between like just someone out there like using equipment to a new product. Super cool.
Yeah, super cool. All right, well, Good luck, Rob.
Thanks,
Congrats.
man.
Get your vintage gains.
Yeah, get your
That's
vintage gains.
That's
We'll
right.
have that. We'll throw that into the bio link. Anything else before we move on, Rob?
No, I mean, yeah. Obviously, if listeners follow me at on Instagram or YouTube, you'll see me using them, and it's a pretty simple process to just weigh your weights and slap them on there. It's like a cool science experiment. Um, I guess the last thing I'd add is that most people are probably just permanently going to leave them on there, but if for any reason you wanted to take them off, the magnets are strong and it's tough to take them off, but you can take them off. So, it's kind of a good product you can keep for however long you have a gym. And we'll be at Home Gym Con. Mike is coming, Micro Gainz, and there'll be some vintage gains out at his booth. So, you can try them out.
Heck yeah.
Sweet. All right. Thanks, Rob. Let's go on to those survey results.